Welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Andrew Phillips.
And I am Isaac Peterson.
You're listening to the Let's Fight podcast.
This is episode 3.
Yeah, we're at the big 3. Gang. That's as wide as it gets.
We're not going to go as crazy as we did last episode on the topics. We're going to go a bit easier on the topics.
That's what she said.
Yeah. But first, we're going to start off with a new segment that we're going to be calling The Weekly Story, where we share a story of our lives individually and separately, just for a few minutes on the show.
And it doesn't matter what they are.
And it doesn't matter what they are.
So you're about to hear a bunch of bleeps out.
And we would also like to announce that this show is now PG-13. And
so sadly, I can't make it MA-17.
Anything that can't be said on late night television will not be able to be said here.
Damn it.
But they will be bleeped if they are said. Simple as that.
We're probably not going to follow this rule as much as we think.
Oh, I will keep myself held to it. And also, we are on Spotify. There will be only 5 episodes released at a time on Spotify. So check them out, and they will always be released first on Spotify up to a 12-hour lead on Spotify before they are released on YouTube. So, wow. Make sure you catch them on Spotify. The Spotify link will be down in the description below, as well as Andrew's personal channel.
And's Chan.
Where you can also find him going more in depth on one of our first topics that we go over later, which is Cardi B and the whole shebangle there. So he goes more in depth on that, but that's for later.
More like we go in depth on that because we both did.
That's true. It is a more in-depth video on that. So go ahead and check that out. That link will also be in the description, his channel and that video.
My breath smells like pizza.
The Spotify and Pizza Hut coupon codes. Just kidding, they won't be.
We're sponsored by Pizza Hut now.
Not sponsored. Don't sue us.
They won't see it.
But if you want to sponsor us, we'd be down.
Gladly take your sponsorship.
I mean, we aren't getting very many viewers right now, but hey, if you sponsor us and then advertise us, sure. Give us some money so we can advertise ourselves. Then we'll. Anyway, moving on. So who's going to share first, me or you?
I have a feeling you're about to be doing a lot of editing, so let's just get it over with.
Okay.
So I hooked up with my best friend the other day, and the problem is she has a boyfriend. And her boyfriend is not a good guy, to say the least. Probably very controlling, might I add. Very not polite to others, might I add. Whereas me, I feel like I'm better than that. But I didn't take advantage of her because she came on to me first. I didn't start it. She was the one who initiated it. We were just chilling with just each other. And we were out and about, and we stopped, and we sat there for a while, and she was like, so do you want to cuddle? And I'm like, okay, sure, but don't you have a boyfriend? She's like, yeah. But anyways, I follow my instincts and get in that chair with her in the driver's seat. And we sit there and cuddle for a little bit, and then she turns around and kisses me. She has a boyfriend. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? She's like, I've always wanted to do that. Okay, just kidding. I kissed her first, but that was later. But anyways, we sat there for a while just cuddling and talking. And then we moved to the back seat. Where we also cuddled for a long time. And needless to say, I fingered in her pussy.
You bleeped.
And I also stuck my into her vagina. You see, that was very pleasurable for me. It was very warm. It was very sticky.
Oh my god.
And I made her. This whole entire thing is gonna get bleeped out.
I might just cut out half of it.
But needless to say, we cuddled for a while. And we also got a good conversation in. But the point of the story is, you can get who you want if you're just charismatic.
That's your advice from Andrew.
Just don't be a dumbass and steal everything.
Yeah.
Point of the matter is, that's how I lost my virginity. Just kidding. Go ahead, Isaac.
Well, that was an interesting story. Thank you for sharing, Andrew. My story's a lot more family-friendly, safe for work, so you can go ahead and take your headphones back out now because you don't need them anymore after that roller coaster. My story is a story of when I like to bowl a lot, and I like to bowl on a competitive level. And so I was in a youth championship, or not a youth championship, it was a youth tournament for bowling. And someone, I'm just going to say his first name, Chase, was bowling, and he has a very high backswing. So he was swinging his arm backwards, and so far backwards that it would go over his head. And one time he dropped and let go of the ball. He slipped out of his hands, and it fell right on his head. And he had to get stitches across his forehead or his eyebrows or something like that. I don't know where exactly it hit him, but he had this huge gash. And the lesson learned from this is now I will never try to, because I used to go for the higher backswing means more power, more revs. And while that may be true, you don't need to bring it all the way around to where it's above you or in front of you to where you drop it on yourself. And also be careful when you're going on your slide foot, for anyone, and you don't want to smash that bowling ball into your ankle, because that really hurts. Anyway, no one really cares much about bowling, so let's get into some of these tippity topics that we're going to start off with. Okay, on to our first topic of the day, because we got a little sidetracked on a second ago. Cardi B, we just think that she shouldn't have done this. If you haven't heard the story, go ahead and check out that link in the description down below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, search up Anschan, ANDSCHAN on YouTube, and you can find that video, Cardi B, and her whole controversy about drugging and robbing people when she was a stripper. Our opinions is she shouldn't have done that. It's not the way to make it in the industry, and it's just not how things, she's immature, and she should just grow up. Any leftover comments on that?
I think she should be in jail if there is evidence to support what she said in her Instagram live. But until there's evidence, then she can't really be put in jail. It's a tricky situation, because if it was a guy, everyone would be calling for her head, and we all know that's true. But anyways, that's pretty much all the stuff I have to say about that. Pretty much everything else aligns with what Isaac said.
And for our second topic of the night, the day, whatever you're listening this at, it is nighttime when we are filming this, 11:15 p.m. to be more exact. New Jersey approves a bill allowing terminally ill patients to end their lives. Now that title alone is very enticing.
Very.
Very sexually pleasing. Pretty
much what the bill allows is you can pretty much end your life via physician-assisted suicide. And if you're going through a really rough cancer, I don't even know, because they're all rough. You have to go through a lot to beat them. And if you're not able to, then it's a really rough ending. You can ask for help to die, and you can go out with dignity before you start shutting down completely.
Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey said allowing terminally ill and dying residents the dignity to make end-of-life decisions according to their own conscience is the right thing to do. This is a humane and dignified process that respects the free will of terminally ill patients, said Senator Scutari. We should permit qualified patients to make the decision to end their own lives in a dignified manner. There is no good reason for them to be forced to prolong their pain and suffering or to prolong the grief of their loved ones if they make that choice. So, I'm on board with this. I feel like if you honestly feel like you're at the end of the road and there's not much that you can do, and you just want to go ahead and end that suffering and that pain now, and you are sane, it's not like you're overly depressed. Like if you're psychologically sane and all there, then I think that you should have
a say on how you want to go. I don't want to be dying on my hospital bed looking like some Casper the White Ghost kind of thing.
No, I do. I know someone who, when they fell terminally ill, they were stuck bedridden for 3 months before they eventually passed away. And all they wanted, was to just go ahead and finish it and be done with it. Like they have already accepted that, they're not going to have much left to do in their life. And
it's a sad situation nonetheless.
Especially, terminally means like
you have no chance of a win.
Yeah, it's basically a
very, very slim chance.
Yeah, and
chance.
If I was bedridden and I knew that I was going to die soon, I just want to say my final doings, say goodbye to the people that I love, and just go
with dignity.
Because I wouldn't want it to hurt either. So like I wouldn't want to hurt anymore, should I say?
Agreed.
So that is all that. I think that's a good job, and I think that more states should hop on that bandwagon. This one's brand new. Haven't read into it yet, but we're going to read it right now for all you guys. Not all of it, because it's a decently long article.
That's what she said.
This was posted on NBC. Virginia's first black female police chief says she was forced to resign.
Give us some context.
Yeah, some quite frankly did not like taking direction from an African American female, the former chief said. The first African American woman to serve as a police chief in Virginia wrote in a 4-page letter Monday that she was forced to resign in a move she believes was racially motivated. I can assure you that I did not quit on the citizens of Portsmouth. My mother did not raise me to be a quitter, wrote the former Portsmouth police chief, Tonya Chapman. She raised me to be a strong woman. As such, my resignation was not tendered under my own volition. It was a forced resignation, and our city manager was the conduit. Chapman, who became the chief of city's police force in 2016, said she met some resistance in her efforts to change a police department culture that she said included bias and acts of systematic racism, discriminatory practices, and abuse of authority. So I think that this is very wrong. I think that,
racism is still alive in 2019 when it should have been dead in 1969.
And to be fair, I don't think that racism is ever going to die out. There's always so many different ways that you can, racism can be. It doesn't have to just be a black and white deal. And it's, with the many races that there are in the world, racism is always.
Some can argue that the current president, not saying that I agree, some can argue that he is causing a more divisive, and I would say it's other people too, not just him, if anything.
I mean, if anything, the people who are fighting, a lot of the people that are complaining about racism
are the ones dividing us.
Are the ones, causing more racism, if anything, but...
we won't say who they are.
No. not now.
Liberals.
But I think that she should not have been forced to resign. It shouldn't. When you're sitting in a position with your job to where you feel like because you can't get anywhere that now your progress is stunted, and because your progress is stunted, it looks bad on the Capitol or like on your business that you're in, and then you're forced to basically resign or you get fired because of things not being able to change, especially when it's racially motivated. Just because you're black, people don't want to listen to you. Like, I don't know about you, but if she's the police chief, she's wearing the uniform, she's got the badge, she's in charge of me, she's got authority over me when it comes to the laws, I'm going to respect that no matter what.
Unfortunately, it may not be a race thing either. It may be like how some men don't think that women are equal to them or whatever.
That's true. Another fact might be...
it may not even be her race. It may just be because she's a woman and people are still living in the past.
I mean, I don't think... I don't doubt that it's race has a big role to play, especially since she wanted to become police chief to end a lot of the racism that was already in the department. But being a woman definitely didn't help with her struggles at all.
We sound sexist.
But I mean, it's true in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
Although everyone does have it equal, just sheerly on racism and like psychological problems, like because people always put other people down or get other people pissed off or just have to say shit that that's gonna be bleeped. have to say stuff that they shouldn't say because it's their own opinion. And to be honest, if your own opinion is going to detriment someone else's
career, then
you're
the problem, not them.
Exactly. But again, it goes back to the term like with the people who are getting racially discriminated against, whether white, black, yellow, red, brown, anything, if you're getting racially discriminated against and then you just reinforce it and complain rather than try to help change the situation, then then you're just as much as a part of it as anyone. I think that most of the people that you see talking about racism today are 50% of the problem, and I think that the other 50% are just people who don't care and don't think that it's an issue. And I'm not going to say it's not an issue, but it's not something that I would say is a priority of this country, because I honestly don't think that it's ever going to go away. But it is something that if we want to get along together as a people, then it should be dealt with. But I don't think Black Lives Matter or Colored Lives Matter or anything like that should be a way to do that. I think just
the way you said that.
I think all lives matter is the only movement that you need. I think that whenever you start putting Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, or any of this kind of stuff, when you label people like that, you're not helping it at all. You're just simply putting people into a group, into a label, into a category, and that builds more stereotypes that just pisses people off.
It doesn't help. People are offended easily nowadays too.
Yeah, and when you can just simply break the stereotype by just ignoring it, like whatever happened to like the classic term where if you are getting bullied and you just ignore the bully and don't give him a reaction, he'll eventually get bored and stop. Like, stop giving them a reaction. Simple, It sounds like it's so childish and simple, but if you really think about it, the only reason why this is still going is because people love the reaction it gives them, and they love to just feel their hate towards this.
It's a power trip.
Yeah. And that's
it's honestly sad that this still happens in 2019.
Yeah. No, it's terrible. And hope it gets better. Hope it gets a lot better.
But anyways, guys, that is the end of our podcast. If you liked what you heard, make sure to follow us. We try to post consistently. We're still trying to figure out the current day we're going to upload, which may be moved to Thursday or Friday. But anyways, that's all we got. I hope you guys check us out. Peace out.
Bye.
You're listening to the Let's Fight podcast.